deals in store. Don't miss the Rebel mid-season sale on now.
If you knew your ancestors originated from all around the world, would it explain your spirit for adventure? With over 350 regions, discover the places that led to you. Order your Ancestry DNA kit today.
Why cook when you can create? Create one-pot wonders and midweek marvels. Create a dinner table of living, breathing dishwashers. Masterfoods. Make dinner time matter.
You will save. Ended the Harvey Oven massive white goods wipeout. Ovens, microwaves, dishwashers, now's the time to buy and save. Fridges, washing machines, dryers, all with bonus local delivery. If you want to save, this is the one. Harvey Oven's massive white goods wipeout with bonus local delivery. Fridges, washing machines, dryers, ovens, microwaves, dishwashers, we're overstocked with a lot and it's all gonna clear. We're serious. You will save this weekend in the Harvey Oven massive white goods wipeout.
Around for the best price, you'll be happy to know that at Officeworks, our prices are backed by our price beat guarantee. Find a lower price on an identical stocked item and we'll beat it by 5%. We've got your back.
Find beautiful bargains at Chemist Warehouse. Our huge October catalogue sales are now. Get Lozeril Antifungal Nail Treatment $49.99. Thompson's All-in-One Joint Pain Relief 60 tablets $14.99. NS8 Heal Balm Complex 100ml $10.69. And mini Optifast Shave for only $34.99. For the biggest range at the lowest price, shop at Chemist Warehouse and stop paying too much.
Every sunrise, every day, every season, every way. Every generation, every dream, every job starting from teen. This is your future. Grow it today. With Aussafe Super, we're with you all the way.
Experience new Tic Tac Gum. Great taste. Very refreshing. Long-lasting flavor. It's crunchy and chewy. How many you chew is up to you. The fresh new gum. Tic Tac Gum. New Tic Tac Gum. The fresh new gum.
When it comes to car accidents, this is as bad as it gets. A woman's vehicle ripped in half during a high-speed crash outside a Melbourne shopping centre. Police are investigating whether the 25-year-old was drunk and high on drugs when she slammed into two poles.
A BMW ripped to pieces, the aftermath of a horrific crash laid bare in the middle of the road. One of the worst fatal collisions local police have ever seen.
It's an incredible scene. I've been in the police force for about 30 years and I've never seen debris spread over 6 lanes of highway.
Senior Sergeant Warren Francis Pester was on his way to work when he saw the car flying past.
This morning I saw this car coming through. It activated a speed camera which alerted my attention. I was in my private vehicle just about to go to work.
The 25-year-old woman was speeding southbound around 5:30 this morning when she struck a traffic light, skidded along the median strip before slamming into another pole.
Just heard a loud noise outside. And it was like glass shattering for 5 or 10 seconds.
The woman died at the scene.
It's pretty shocking. Came out and had a look and yeah, it's carnage everywhere.
Investigators estimate the car was travelling more than 150 kilometres an hour before it crashed. As you can see, the force of the impact, the front of the car is there with the steering wheel. It's also left the traffic lights dangling. Earlier in the night, witnesses saw her driving erratically. Her passenger feared for his life and got out moments before the crash. Police say drugs and alcohol were definite factors.
Devastating for the woman and her family and everything, but it's lucky that no one else was hurt.
A young man has been killed in an early morning stabbing attack in a Parramatta street. 3 men were arrested nearby, with police still trying to find out what sparked the assault. 20-year-old Tino Henry had the world at his feet, but in the early hours of this morning, his promising young life ended abruptly. In this alleyway off Fitzsimmons Street in Parramatta, he was fatally stabbed in the chest. Online, an outpouring of grief. Wow, another brother gone too soon. I will never forget the memories we all had, and another life taken too soon. What is wrong with this world?
Paramedics raced to the scene just after 5 a.m. Members of the public had found the young man bleeding on the ground.
He went into cardiac arrest. We transported him to Westmead Hospital in a critical condition. Despite the best efforts of paramedics and the bystanders on scene, he passed away at the hospital.
A crime scene was established in Prince Alfred Square where police believe a dispute started. And just minutes later, a few hundred metres away in nearby Hassel Street, 3 young men were arrested.
There are 3 men in custody at the moment, aged 16, 17 and 19. They're assisting police with inquiries.
Given that the attack took place in such a busy and densely populated part of Parramatta's CBD, police are confident there will be many witnesses on CCTV from a number of nearby businesses.
Police are also been searching the area this morning for any objects and items that could be used as weapons.
Police expect to lay charges later tonight. Gabrielle Boyle, NBN News.
A rare tell-all book has revealed the extent of James Packer's pain as his business and personal life took hit after hit. The billionaire reveals that at his lowest point he drank to excess, finding support from a Hollywood legend.
He was the boy gifted with a gilded life. James Packer, the son of media mogul Kerry Packer, once Australia's richest man. But in a new book, The Price of Fortune, the 51-year-old reveals he's staggered under the weight of being the heir to a multi-billion-dollar fortune, chain-smoking and drinking a bottle of vodka or more every day, self-medicating his anxiety and depression. Telling the author, I was experiencing major panic attacks and felt extremely depressed and paranoid. It was scary, very scary, especially as I was sober and thought I'd been improving. On the outside, we saw the fluctuating weight and a very public breakup with pop star Mariah Carey. There were the highs of his Hollywood film company, Rat Pack, before the sellout at a $100 million loss. He walked away from a casino deal in Macau, finally resigning from the Crown Board earlier this year. But now we have a taste of the turmoil inside. This time, I've lost my reputation globally. I had become toxic. The phone stopped ringing.
At the lowest of the lows, James Packer turned to movie legend Warren Beatty. The actor took him in, putting him up in the guest house of his estate here in the Hollywood Hills.
Beatty took Packer to a psychiatrist. The pair became so close, Packer referred to his friend as Dad. The book claims Packer hasn't touched a drop of alcohol this year, flagging a comeback. I'm not sure how easy it is to get it back a 4th time. I'm really not sure. In Los Angeles, Lizzie Pearl, NBN News.
Judge Brett Kavanaugh is one step closer to the US Supreme Court after 51 senators agreed to move toward a vote on his final confirmation tomorrow. Protesters gathered to express their anger in the subject of the FBI investigation over allegations of sexual assault. An Australian tourist has been grabbed from behind and pushed to the ground as she was sexually assaulted in New York. The 27-year-old woman tried to fight off her attacker as she walked to her apartment in Brooklyn. Police are now searching for the man. The president of International Police Agency Interpol has vanished. Meng Hongwei was last seen leaving the organisation's headquarters in Lyon in France before heading to China. His family hasn't heard from him for 11 days. Sources say the 64-year-old was not in France when he disappeared. There was a rumour it could go to Donald Trump, but the US president has missed out on this year's Nobel Peace Prize. The prestigious honour has instead been awarded to 2 anti-rape campaigners.
They've seen the worst of war and they've been trying to end it. Dennis McVeigh and Nadia Murad, the joint winners of this year's Nobel Peace Prize.
For their efforts to end the use of sexual violence as a weapon of war and armed conflict.
Murad is a Yazidi from northern Iraq. He was kidnapped by Islamic State fighters from this school in 2014, raped, tortured and held as a sex slave. She's used her tragic ordeal to demand action from the world.
Why it is taking so long? I cannot understand why you are leading us to get away with it.
Dennis Mukwege is a gynecologist from the Democratic Republic of Congo who established a hospital to treat the huge amount of rape victims from the country's long-running civil war.
His basic principle is that justice is everyone's business.
The announcement came after speculation the award would go to Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un, whose apparent now friendship could lead to peace on the Korean Peninsula.
I feel really great. We're going to have a great discussion, and I think tremendous success.
From nuclear rhetoric to Nobel Prize, not this year, at least.
Reducing the risk of ovarian cancer could be as simple as taking aspirin. A US study of more than 200,000 women has found taking a low dose of the painkiller every day could slash the chances of getting the cancer by almost a quarter. Ovarian cancer is known as a silent killer because it shows few symptoms before it's too late to treat.